meathead from All in the Family, Rob Reiner. Have you ever gone to his?
I've read a couple of tweets and I'm like, I'm out. I love his work too much.
I know. It's hard to then like his work when he is so overwhelmingly obsessed with Trump. Stephen King is another guy who fits that description.
Something happens to old liberals with a ton of money. It's like something happens to those old creative types.
Yeah.
It's just, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense that you're arguing with people online about it all day long if you're Rob Reiner or if you're Stephen King. Like putting nasty tweets out. It's like, come on.
So I wrote, maybe it was shameless plugging of my book, but I responded to Rob Reiner. I said, let me send you a copy of my book. Man, there's so much that you have to be happy about. Stop being mired endlessly in vitriol. I mean, that's all he does. I mean, imagine this guy, how many things he's got to be grateful about. He's a creative guy, a talented guy, and he spends all day obsessing on issues that ultimately he's got no control over.
Well, people viewed Trump as an existential threat to the very fundamentals of the country. They thought that he was going to come in and he was going to represent corruption on a level that we've never seen before. But the problem with doing that and saying that is that it opens the door to examining all the other corruption. Like, how much corruption is there?
Yeah.
Like, how much money are you guys making? Where's this money coming from? There's so much corruption that's readily available that once you start opening the door to calling someone a monster, then everyone gets to look at you and go, hey, but what about you guys? Like, what are you doing? What about drone bombings? Let's talk about some real problems. What about the fentanyl crisis? Like, what about the borders where like criminals are coming through? Like, how many are being sent back? What's the numbers?
Yeah.
What's the numbers? I mean, a lot of them are good people that just want to find a better way to live, and good for them. And I would do it. I would do it too. If I could sneak across into America and be assimilated, I would fucking do it.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
If you got a bad roll of the dice and you're living in somewhere that's less favorable and you get the opportunity to all you have to do is get across the river and they let you in. But how many of those people shouldn't be here? How many of those people are dangerous? How many? What's the number? It's not zero. What's the number?
Well, I could tell you that we've talked about this in the past when we talked about people who come from certain cultures where there's rampant anti-Semitism.
Yes.
Right? And so if you let people that are coming from cultures where when they're polled, somewhere between 90 to 99% of them will exhibit rampant Jew hatred. It doesn't take much of a sociologist or a survey analyst to recognize that out of all those people that are coming in, you're going to have an increase of Jew hatred. Yesterday, I was out with some friends here in Austin, and so one of them asked me, "Have you seen an uptake on Jew hatred? Are you exposed to more?" And I say, "Oh, it's endless. It's not, I mean, it's usually on social media."
Do you think it's ramped up? Or do you think now that Elon has taken over Twitter and allowed much more free speech?
Hard for me to tell. I really don't know. But there is kind of a normalized. Now, many of them are behind anonymous accounts,
of course.
But there is kind of a cavalier normalization of just saying. So, for example, I think someone had retweeted, a promotional thing about my book, and someone said, "Why are you promoting the Jew?" You're like, my God, this guy could be your son's teacher. He could be the grocer at the store. You know what?
I have a real concern with that, and I also have a real concern with vested entities like organizations that would want people to be at each other's throats, stirring up things with fake social media posts, because this is a real problem that's happening in the world right now.
Right.
Someone tweeted a bunch of different examples of where dozens and dozens of accounts are saying the same inflammatory things with the exact same wordage. Exact. And they're all like, they have numbers and letters in their accounts, like just random accounts. And, you go to their page, it looks kind of real. They have a photo. There's like them with a flag. It's like, and you go through it, but you get this sense like, oh, you're a bot. Like, you're not even a real person. Like, so you're an agent you're stirring up bullshit. So there's a certain aspect of our culture. I don't know what the percentage is, but there's a certain aspect of the conversations online that are being flavored by fake accounts that are designed to get people upset with each other.
Yeah.
It's like psychological warfare on a level that no one anticipated and no one's prepared for. Because when you have the two things we already discussed, like this adherence to the ideology no matter what, like you can't objectively, logically defend any of the things that are in opposition of it.
Yeah.
And then you have this.
So I noticed, obviously we follow each other on Twitter. You almost never, short of the recent thing you did with Peter Hotez, you almost never weigh in on anything. Was that sort of a conscious thing for you to step back?
Yeah. Well, with that one, it was like, okay, this is crazy. You're saying that he made some crazy tweet about neo-fascist leanings.
Yeah, I saw that.
Like, what are you talking about? Like with Robert Kennedy Jr. with me, I'm like, this is dangerous. Like what you're saying is totally untrue.
Yeah.
You know it's untrue, and you're willing to just say it because the more you can discredit someone who's in opposition to some of your ideas, the more you can somehow or another in your weird game of checkers you're playing, like elevate yourself. But you don't think people know what you're doing? Like that's like the most clear neo-fascist. Like what the fuck are you saying?
Did you feel more angry at the fact that you had already had a conversation with him, and so there was some kind of personal connection between you two? I understand he's not your best friend.
For sure. I've had him on at least, was he on twice? Twice. I've had him on twice.
Yeah.
I was very nice to him.
Yeah.
Even in disagreement with him, like in issues of health, I was very nice to him.
Yeah.
But you can't just say stuff like that. And, it's like, I just wanted to say, like, have a debate with the guy.
Yeah.
Like, have a debate with the guy.
So what ended up happening? I think it got up to like $2 million.
He's not going to do it. He
Okay.
won't do it. I don't think he wants to do it. And there's the idea that like Robert Kennedy would be too silver-tongued, like, stop, come on, because he's a lawyer, and he's really good arguing stuff. Like if you either have facts or you don't have facts,
Right.
And if you're scared to debate the facts, I have to go, what are these facts?
Right.
Well, what's bothering you? Like,
Yeah.
what are you worried that he might bring up?